My name is Rick Smiklis. Formerly, I was the founder of a company called Wild Wing. I opened in 1999, one day after the birth of my daughter. I was down to my last $100. I said, yeah, I'm going to be a father and I got to get into a cash business. I knew I had to be in a cash business in case my daughter got sick and she needed medicine. It was just one of those things as a parent you have to plan for and accept responsibility and not rely on others. I did that unconventionally. I did it any way I could. I go back to how I started, and those were actually the best times of my business. That first store, I got a $600 loan for 3 days to secure the lease. And with that lease, I secured a $15,000 line of credit. Sorry, with that lease, I secured a $15,000 line of credit against my home. And I was in business for $15,000, basically to start a chicken wing chain, which later went on to be known as Wild Wing. And it was 100 restaurants serving 101 different flavors of chicken wings. I haven't ever really talked about this, but after 2-3 months, I was sick of it, dealing with the retail aspect of it, because I was a one-man show and it was draining me. I was very giving by nature, and I was giving away all the profits, and I was my own worst enemy. To get that next level, I had to jump another step. I sold that restaurant for $20,000. I had another $5,000 in credit card bills, so I broke even. So then it was like, okay, just as I'm selling, a man comes in, tells me he's got a location in a town up where I was called Beaverton, back in debt, back at it again. And those were the happiest times of my life, because I started working on the concept. I was making a living finally, and I could provide for my daughter. That went on for about 1.5 years. I split with her mother. I gave her everything. I kept, what's interesting, I kept this. It's called a trademark. I trademarked this last year, Golden Girl, and I forgot all about it. Somehow it came back to fruition and back to life, and now I have this logo, which is reminiscent of my journey, because when I started Wild Wing, I made a joke, world famous Wild Wing, and I never had a trademark until 2002, which was 3 years after. So this is a year after. I'm a bit ahead, but what I do remember was my original logo. It was nice. I put a lot of love and effort into it. I rebranded and I changed. And what's interesting about this, I bought so many of these shirts last year and hats, and I gave them all away. I didn't have any. And what happened was my producer just told me that there's a rip in this. Well, what happened was I stapled it to the wall. That's what I would do with stuff, and just for different looks. Why I'm saying that is, this is a souvenir. I mean, hopefully I can look back on it and few years and laugh about it, but I've rebranded, and I'm gonna have to redo the trademark. And what I'm here for today is actually proprietary items. So these trademarks are proprietary items, and there's something here, it's called Trade Style. So I will have new stuff probably in 3 weeks. I did it this morning. I sent it to the embroidery guy. I sent it to the print guy that does our print. That's 2. And then the third guy was, and there goes my fryer, a promotional guy. So I'll have what's called a swag kit, and then I'll prepare a media kit, and then I'll go from there. So I'm gonna park this aside. We're gonna rattle through this stuff. What I'm gonna do today is, I've got hot oil going there, and I've got some tenders that I tried from Wingstop. My 2 favorite places here, Jack Astor's and Baton Rouge, where I had them as a kid. And this new guy here, I don't know if it's a tender. I went there yesterday. I'm glad that I did, because I guess they're out of the States. Nobody cares about bread, with their meal. If they want a chicken sandwich, they'll order the bread. What's interesting is, I didn't know when I started. I told my friend, smartest guy I know, most eccentric guy, and he says, I remember what you told me, that if you put bread with the wings, people are going to get filled up too much and they're not going to eat the wings. Well, I don't remember telling him that, but if somebody wants bread, they can go to a bakery. The biggest struggle I have is packaging. It's nice that it's perforated so the chicken can breathe, but when it gets wet here, it's falling apart. You don't want that. speaking of that, so I went to these restaurants, and these are big chains here. MTY Group, I know the owner, like the founder, whatever, the public company CEO, and they don't care. And I'll tell him that. He knows me. It's you go in there, everything's changed. There's no brand identity, and this is anybody can get this at anyway. This is the bag I'm going to be carrying. That's why I'm showing it to you. So, all right. So here's what's important. This company, great motto. I just noticed this. Get at it. Get at Wingstop. I'm not selling wings. But what's interesting is they've actually branded their items here, because you're going to go into a place and you're going to want to get 2 drinks. You're going to want to carry these out. It's nice. It's a great tagline, but I can't do this. And I'm going to throw it out. I'll tell you why I can't do it. Just right here, I was struggling with it. So if I'm struggling and it's labor, how much time is it going to take the actual person working in the store to execute this? So that's a hard one. These things, I went here too. Great kid that works there. I see what goes into these things. They have too much labor to fold and put these things together. It should be something that works like this, which is a clamshell, it's called. So these boats, which I have here, you have a brand, you want everything to be part of the experience. This is one of the great things that I had was when I started, was this idea to do these little boats. And these little boats are actually so cute. They got good marketing and taglines on there. I like it, but it would have to fit in one of these things, and I have to separate it. But I'm gonna keep it aside because I like it. My baby's here. She's our mascot. Whoa. Oh, you see the fries. Okay. She wants some fries. I'm not gonna eat them. So I went in. This is great. These are different specs. What's interesting is, it's what I was gonna do. I'm not doing wings. I just like their branding and their packaging. So when I'm talking about packaging as the most important thing, this thing stays. It's waxed. It says wings, fries, repeat. Subconsciously, you know you're gonna repeat this because you had a pleasant experience. I had a pleasant experience with that. The place was lined up, and it was crazy how busy it was, and it's just takeout and online ordering. So that's what I'm actually doing this time, because I don't know how to explain this. When you're dealing with, there's ways to call stuff fast casual, fine casual, and fine dining. There's many different things, but when you have fast casual, people order, they come in, and it's usually counter service, and that's it. But when you go fine casual, which is hard, you're elevating the experience with ingredients, and that's what I'm gonna do here. I've elevated everything because these guys have a good tagline, where flavor gets its wings. Okay, so what they do is they actually put your order with the sticker, and that's cool, and your name. So that is really, really cool. But I'm gonna tell you why you need the stickers. So the whole thing I talk about is an experience. I did well at the start because I implemented those boats. I implemented those basket liners. I'd give a mint to everybody branded with our logo. And that was our branding and our marketing out of the get-go. So I will do the same principles when I move forward. But this thing was a wet nap, and it's good, because any of the other places, even these big ones like Wingstop I went to, they wouldn't give you a branded one, so at least you know where you were. I'm gonna do one, but a better one. So what you have is, you need a graphic artist, you get something called die plates, and then the hardest thing is you gotta source the manufacturer, because I'm gonna talk about that. In the old days, you would actually just tell your distributor to, get a guy, and then that's one middleman. Then he would go to another middleman, And then by the time it's marked up and it gets to your franchisees, it looks like you're getting the money and you're not. And it leads me to this. I do have a new distributor here because a lot of the distributors are being what's called gobbled up. So because people want street business and accounts, so I do have one, but the first time I looked at this last year, I have a great rep. Maybe I found 7, 8 products that I could use. And if I use them this time, I already know that they're hurting because that's the way the industry is, and their margins are bad enough, and they're not going to be able to support a guy like me that's in growth mode. But they're local, and I plan on being local and then licensing out territories across the country. So I do have this product list. What you get on this thing is stuff like this. These are all food service items. So you get that. But now, given the way the world has changed, a lot of these guys are opening these cash and carries. I went this weekend and I grabbed some stuff. I grabbed some really interesting stuff you get here. I don't know the prices here because they never disclose prices. And that's the scary thing. At least when you go into these new cash and carry models, the prices are there. So what happened was, I know a lot about oils. And I grabbed this one now because the way I used to get my oil was in these big vats, and they would bring in a truck and then they would pump the oil in. So you have all these different oils and cheap oils. But what's interesting, this time I'm doing something better. When I started my R&D last year, I always liked a product. It was a beef tallow, which is a healthier fat, and that holds the flavor of the chicken, which I'm laughing at now because I'm actually cooking that in a pressure cooker that I just bought yesterday. I bought 3 fryers. They didn't work. I'm burning the house down. I found the one element that is working, and I don't hear any noise. It's cooking at a low heat. And that's the thing. When you have a cooked off product and you're not mixing other products in that are frozen, the oil's going to stay there. When you're doing the first step in the process, which is called blanching, you always cook at a higher amount and a higher temperature. And then, believe it or not, you got to go into something cold after that. You got to go to a flash cold. So now they're pre-cooked, and then you're going to heat them in a lower degree temperature. Basically, I'll be using 3 fryers. The first one will be for what's called blanching the chicken in a canola oil, because that's just the blanching process. And then once they're cooled down, I will take some of them and I will flash freeze them. I had a rotation system when I had the wings. When I cooked them, I know where they would go, and then those are the ones that I would sell first and then on to the next one. But when you're working with a tender, it's a lot more tender than an actual wing. The wing has a bone and it's harder. So you can actually toss these things in sauce. Well, after I'm done today, I'll have 4 sauces that I'm actually gonna toss the tender in. But the actual tender will fall apart. And the batter will come off if it's not cold. So you have to have a technique and a style. It's still going to be fresh chicken. It's just going to be flash frozen. So it's not going to compromise the quality of the food, but that's the only way you can sauce them. I used to sauce the wings, we toss them, you sauce them. I had all these taglines, but with tenders, it's a bit different. So I'm going to have with the tenders, the other ones that I'm not tossing, that will still be like fresh and handmade, I will have dipping sauces, and that's what I'll be doing today. So let's see what we got here. These are from Wingstop. I just told the lady, give me every flavor with our orders. And this is from the other place I was telling you about, Baton Rouge, that had the best tenders I ever had as a kid. I just want to go over their wings because I was in the wing business. So we're going to get these guys in now. And I'm gonna go on to the next step because this is gonna be 5 minutes to sample some sauces. This packaging, it's from Baton Rouge, so it's by Genpack. This is called a clamshell. What's interesting about this is MTY owns it, so they don't brand any of their stuff, so they're just getting rebated by moving a product. And there's no individuality to it. It's a corporate play to just get more rebates. People like to have a nice experience. Like, I love this. Like, look at this. Like, okay, look, I'm here. I feel like I'm having an experience. I could eat these things cold right now. This looks like a lemon pepper, most likely. I never did it this way. I'm doing something like it, I guess. There you go. I could eat this all day. Not even cooked. So let me put that back in, because that's what I was supposed to do. All right. I like to pat things down. See the importance of oil, getting it all off? It's, when you're using this other tallow that I'm gonna do, it's gonna go right in, and the flavor is gonna go into the actual chicken tender. This is a breading that's falling off. I talked about breading if it wasn't frozen, and these weren't. So that's what you're seeing, is the discoloration of the breading. I know this is not a live stream, but I just want to thank anybody that's watching this for giving me the opportunity to share and create. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try these sauces, and I'm gonna try to guess what they are. I don't know what they are. And I'm gonna tell you where these products are from. So what you have here is, I guess this is from Dave's Hot Chicken. They charge $8 a piece. $8 because they said, you know, how many you want? I said, just give me 2. So $8 a piece. So you're thinking $8. What it actually is their spec is off. So what a spec is, usually you get random chicken, it's called, 4 to 6 ounce breast. So you could get, in 6 ounces, you could get 2 ounces each, so 3 tenders, and you could charge the same $8. So what they have here is probably a 3 ounce. So this is gonna come to 1.5 ounces. And the problem when you do it this way is it falls apart first. Secondly, this is actually, doesn't even look like a chicken breast, and it's falling apart. But that's not why I'm telling you that. What they do is, with those broken pieces, they actually, the guy told me, they have these things called bites. That's what they do with all their offcuts. So I'm gonna try a bite. Again, I have all the stuff pat down the grease and get the oil out, because you don't wanna be eating grease. So I'm gonna just try this on its own. And something I haven't done is actually try their breading. So I'd like, what are you doing here? Whoa, what are you doing here? I know. Their shtick is they season the tenders from hot to extra hot to Reaper. So I have my own rubs, which I'll do, because they didn't, for some reason, they didn't do it on this. So I'm gonna do it their way. Maybe because it's for kids, I don't know. And another reason I'm doing this is it'll cut the grease. And this is actually, I don't even know if it's a tender. It could be any other part of the chicken. I don't know. It doesn't taste like it. But so here is, I guess, their tender. I'm gonna try it with, believe it or not, they have a sauce, a proprietary sauce, which I'll make, sort of like what Raising Cane's does. I guess it's a Dave sauce or a dipping sauce, so I'm gonna try it with that. And because I want to give the dip a fair shake. The dip is very good. It's a lot spicier than I thought. It's good. So this is a good dip. I'll go back to that. Let's try these Wingstop ones. What are you doing? You want to try some, girly? Go. So the lemon pepper, I'm going to tell you something very interesting. Today I worked on stickers. So these are 2 ounce portion cups. Our stickers go on the round part here, and it says every flavor, so you know what you're getting every time. This is not gonna make it for me because lemon pepper belongs in a dry spice, I believe. So let's go to the next one, which I don't know. Girly, go. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna guess. If it's any good, I'll put it. This is some type of hot sauce. It's a darkened version of Frank's. That's what it tastes like. This looks like a teriyaki. It's sticky. And they don't claim that their sauces are homemade. This is definitely not homemade. This is no chance. Next one is, what the heck is this? This one looks, even Girlie's upset. Girlie, go. This one is not good. I don't know what it is because it's not mixed. It looks like it was just force fed into a portion cup with this one is the same principle as this lemon pepper. It's way too salty. I don't know what it is. I'd have to cross-check. Way, way, way too salty. One thing about chicken, I just came up with a thing. It's good for dipping. And this thing, I don't know what it is, but I can smell it. And it could be, I don't know what this could be. You know what it could be? Not that interesting. So let's get this thing out of here. Oh, I know what this is. This is terrible. This is terrible. That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. That is just a barbecue sauce out of a bottle with no love in it. Okay, so, wow, that one made the garbage? Come on up. It's like a cattleman's barbecue. I was under the impression that, you know what, like these sauces are homemade, not or proprietary. It looks like they're not. It looks like they're not. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to make all proprietary items in front of you today if the dog is calm. This could be interesting. Again, it's the same principle. This is pretty good. It's very good. That is also out of a bottle, I believe. There's no homemadeness to it, but I had it. I like it. It's a mango habanero. Interesting thing is, this is very interesting. These were my favorite tenders, and now they've become my least favorite. And the reason why is the chicken is old, chewy, and disgusting. And again, this is no fault of the company. The actual store owner could be buying old chicken or raw chicken or just something. It's not good. This is not, I don't like chicken. The smell is terrible. This is the toughest decision of the day. I won't eat it for the sake of eating it. And will the dog eat it? And that's it. So they tried to, it looks like they've got this tempura batter to mask it. All this tastes like right now, it's a shame, is, you know, like a tempura chicken with old chicken. I'm not liking that taste in my mouth. The aftertaste is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Interesting why I brought this out. I haven't tried the Jack's tenders, which are supposed to be the best in Canada. And it says 8 fingers hot with fried. So what they have here is they have this sticker and they have this terrible eco box that ruins the whole experience because it's falling apart. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke because this thing won't even fit into here. So you got my favorite restaurant chain in all of Canada, and they're resorting to these type of bad moves. Like, come on. A joke. An absolute joke. I was here to do sauces and I'm glad that I got to talk about other things because it's going a lot quicker this way. This is another flavor they have, and this is looks like some type of citrusy ginger type thing, which is kind of syrup. Oh, it's kind of plummy. It's kind of good. It's not bad. Goody, you want to come try some? Come on up. Come on up. And yeah, is it great? No. Is it homemade? No. Maybe it is. Maybe they just add 2 or 3 things. I think right now I'm learning something. Anything homemade like this must be homemade from this Dave's place. It just seems to have a little more authenticity to it. So, going through these Wingstop sauces, I've done 3, 6. I've thrown one in the garbage, 7. And I guess they have 5 more. So let's just rattle through them so I can get rid of the grease lightning, as they say. Go grease lightning. This is interesting because I like hot sauces. So I like this a lot. It's good. It's great. This is good. I imagine it's a hot sauce from Wingstop. So this is actually, could be a medium or a mild from Wingstop. I like it. I like it a lot. It's creamy. It's great. What do we got here? This looks like some type of puree. And it's, and I was right. It's like a garlic Parmesan puree, which is very buttery. I should try it with a product. This must be their garlic Parmesan. Overly oily and buttery. It's good. I can see yourself getting sick after 3 or 4. Okay, so that's here. This is trouble. I think I had this one. No, I didn't. This is actually pretty good because it's got some pepper in there. What is it? I don't know. But I really like the crushed black pepper. It's got some tanginess to it. It's not bad. For me to go back that many times, I'm going to put it aside here. This is rarity. That something passes the mustard, which reminds me, honey mustard, honey garlic, where are you guys? Oh, speaking of honey garlic. No, maybe that's a plum. Looks like a honey garlic, eh, girly? This is actually a pretty... This almost tastes like one of my recipes that I have on here. I think it was called Honeybee, which I was going to mix honey and plum, but I got to check my recipes because I never had this. I don't know what it's called on theirs, so... Oh, maybe they have it as a Szechuan or something. I don't know. Korean, I don't know. This... Girlie, what do you think? You want to try some? Come on up. I'll save the last bite for you. Come on up. Big bite. Okay. Come on, Girlie. Girlie doesn't like it. Another interesting thing I'm going to mention, because I'm almost done with these guys, is this is just a hot sauce that's salty. It's almost like a Cajun. So what's interesting about these guys is they say that they are wing experts, and something about flavor on the bag here. Oh, where flavor gets its wings. So for me, I have a website, flavorexperts.com. That's the only thing I'm expertise in, being a flavor expert. I think they got a long way to go before they can say they're experts. Like it's a long way to go because these are going in the garbage. These sauces, again, I don't want to have doubles here. These look different. So what would this one be? This one's actually better. It's more Thousand Islandy. So I'm going to get rid of this guy. And just as that happens, I find another one here. And, what did I do to get all this love here? You believe this? I know what it is. This is a Big Mac sauce. I bought it on the side. So this stays because I'm doing one that's called McDoggy, which is girly. See, this is crazy right now. If you're looking at what I'm looking at here, it's hard chicken that is actually not even a tender. You can tell by the, this is actually just the breading they have on here. So it's got some crunch. Again, I'm looking here, I'm seeing yellow, which means yellow. Sometimes there's two types of chicken, yellow, there's dark meat, and I guess the product is not spec'd properly from head office because they're American and they're dealing with Canadian suppliers, but this is not Canadian grade A chicken. I'm gonna dip back into the crunch for a sec. You know why? Because I wanted to see what it's like with Big Mac sauce. So, it's good. Why wouldn't they put the Big Mac sauce on a McChicken? Right, Gertie? And let's see how their knockoff sauce is from these guys, Dave's. That's even better for me than the Big Mac. It's good. I promised the good stuff. This spicy habanero sauce, I don't know why I have it here. Maybe because I got good color. And you know what? It's not bad. The problem with it is there's not enough in the portion to actually fill something. And I go back about that stuff. I always believe in value where there's a 4-ounce portion. You're gonna dip something. For me, it's like, okay, how are you gonna get, a square peg into a round hole? It's like, it's this chicken, I don't know who it's from, but again, it's like shoe leather. And I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm gonna be glad this is over. This was $500 of on a recon mission, and it was well worth it. Just to Gertie, it was worth it for me for one reason, so I don't make a mistake with the packaging. We're about the experience. It's got to go all the way. You got to check all the boxes. It's got to be proper bagging, proper labeling, okay, everything, proper service, all the key steps you need. There's something called best practices, and one of the best practices you have is, we used to do this, was simple. I would get the order and my sister would double check it. Is there a napkin? Is there cutlery in there? Is there either a mint or a callback for the people in the branded bag that we have to come back? Is there any incentive? It's all about the experience. These are the actual Jack Astor's tenders, what they did, which is what really, really got me upset because, again, I'm not a guy that frequents these places, but this is what they did. They give you these eco cups with these sauces. So you're fighting with these lids. Like, for example, here, you're trying your hardest to get these lids. When you touch this thing, it's gonna fall apart. Like you can see, it's caved in. There's no strength to this cheap type of eco crap. What do you call it here? See, I can't get this off. Like, now I spilt it. So the whole experience with this is bad. And I'm not mad. It's just telling you how it is. Like, I gotta go look for a napkin now and deal with this. So let's just see what it's like. Oh, that is so good. It's like it's a Dijon mustard. That's really, really good. So what I'll do is, because I can't stand the packaging, I've got some inspiration. I've really got some inspiration here. Look at this. It's a nice color. And that is that. So this is going to actually make it where I'm going to try to create 8 flavors. So you've got the Big Mac, you've got this Dijonais, you've got this other one that I like, and then these are 2 flavor profiles, I believe, from Wingstop. So this is sort of your top 3. So now, again, I'm trying to get this thing off. I got to go this way. You can see when you got sticky hands what happens. This is interesting because this is from Jack Astor's, and here's their tender, which is not so tender like I thought. And this is interesting because I didn't ask for it. It wasn't on the menu, but it's a great choice. The problem is, again, I need to see what I'm getting. So now I see that this is a plum sauce. Okay, here I don't know what the you know what I'm getting. So this plum sauce, just by me changing containers, passes the grade. So what am I getting from them this time? I don't know. You got to remember, I got these sauces without asking because the server was very standoffish and confronting, and I didn't want to. I said, just give me anything. Like here's extra money. You know what? I don't want to argue with nobody. Anyway, so this again, I can't see it, and now it looks pastier than I thought before, but it's thicker. This is actually more like a paste. It's a little thick. So what you got to do when Hulkamania comes around for you is you got to get creative here. So I didn't get much out of that. You want to not water it down. This is, believe it or not, it's a paste. And it's a paste with great taste. So this is very good. You're just going to need to liquefy it because this is less than an ounce a portion. So I like that as a flavor profile. When I say liquefy, this is what I mean. I don't know who this is, but I really like this one earlier. It tastes like an authentic Anchor Bar hot sauce, but you can see you got 2 ounces, and watch how nice it pours. You see how that poured? Beautiful. So that poured. So what you're not getting here is big portions. And I will always hand out a bigger portion because we're, believe it or not, we're in the flavor business. Like these things, you redo them like a day or 2 after, it's not the same, but the sauces or dips, I'm going to call them actually dipping sauces because people don't know. Is it a dip? Is it a sauce? Is it a seasoning? So that's that. This, we're making some progress. Something very interesting here coming down the pipe. And that is that the dog is wound up. I don't know what this is. Is it a ranch? Is it a blue cheese? Is it a garlic parmesan? It's a blue cheese from Jack Astor's because they've got the same packaging. And the only way I knew that is because it had that little lip on the outside. So this is like it's thick. I could have cheapened myself out and went with 2-ounce portion cups, but it's going to be double the fun. Like, you know, double bubble, you know, double dip, Edna Doubleday, you know, it'll just be all in the buying power of how I do it. So this looks a lot better than this. And the taste is good. However, what I got to do with that is I'm doing chicken tenders, so I got to think realistically. Who in the world does chicken tenders with blue cheese? I'd be probably one of the only ones. So I might have to, because it's thick, I might have to cut it with this hot. It's like a red hot and blue, I would call it. So we're going to talk about this one from Jack Astor's, and I remember having a good experience with it. So again, this has got to go. This is interesting because because I remember being better than this. It's not working. Okay, so interesting stuff happening here. Let's talk about this cheese sauce. Cheese sauce is great. However, that was frozen. This one, this cheese sauce wasn't. I love cheese sauce. This must have came from Wingstop. I'm not going to carry it. It tastes too much like Carnival nachos and cheese. Again, I could use other types of cheeses. Again, it's falling apart here after a few days. It's not holding well. Could be dangerous. And this is 100%. 100%. This is from that, what the hell's the guy's name? Hot Dave's? It's from Hot Dave's. So you've got 3 times the amount of work here just to get one product in. So these aren't even 2-ounce portions, because that would have been 6 ounces if I went through 3. So these are my 4-ounce portion cups, and you know, the consumer can be happy. These would be my actual sauces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, boom. So that's 7. We need an 8th. I don't know how this happened, that this ends up here like this. And this craziness is interesting. It's some type of Korean barbecue, so we need something there. These are my extras. I'm gonna wash my hands at this. So what I'm doing is, I'm gonna see which tray works. If I have 8 signature sauces and dips, you're gonna wanna see what stacks properly. This is more of a serving tray for food. If you have customers, not metal, so you wanna go with the plastic. And then you wanna measure it out, because these come in different sizes. Can I get 4 across, or can I get 3? So 1, 2, 3. You'd want to get a tray that is actually a little bigger than this, and then you can see how many rows you have. So 4. I'd like to get 16 in, because these are 64-ounce blenders. 16 times 4 is 64. So let's talk about that. First thing we're going to deal with is these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to have these in a separate area. I'm going to have 4 seasonings. 1 is a rub, and 3 of them are seasonings. So I have decided to use the word rub and seasoning under the category of flavors, because it is a flavor technically. So these are the 4. 1 is a smoky maple bacon, 1 is a rub seasoning that is like a fry seasoning, 1 is a buttery steakhouse, and 1 is a hot one. These are my backups. I'm gonna need a lemon pepper. If I mix this hot cayenne paprika with the lemon pepper, I can get rid of this. I'm not gonna be able to get this, but this is actually a smoky sweet seasoning, which I'll leave here. Getting into how these seasonings come, they're gonna come in a food service type shakers. So you're gonna most likely get 4 of these, which end up looking like this. So what you're gonna do with this is, now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So those will become these in the end. So these 4. So why you buy these, this is actually a smaller version. They actually come in these jugs, but these are easier to work with. You've got those 4, so now you gotta come up with the 8. Okay, we're not gonna have any perishables. And what I mean by that is, you know, bringing in garlic, which is labor, celery, carrots, all that stuff is time consuming, and you know, that's that. This is a business that needs to be built on speed. Money doesn't sleep. A lot of these consumers, they want a product, they want it yesterday. One of my favorite quotes was when I started was, it's a microwave society. Everybody wants everything yesterday. I know now that what I was talking about earlier is part of that speed process, and I know what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is, this is 33 ounces. So let's just say 32 ounces. 32 times 2 is 64. So you're going to get 2 of these into one of these. Why I'm saying what this is, if I have my 8 dips that are pourable, I can source this type of bottle, which is a mixer. So Wingstop is known for their drinkable ranch. Some are too thick, some are not too thick. So the thing is, you got to find a fine balance how to do that. A lot of these are not pourable, and one way for them to be pourable is by consistently moving volume. So you're going to have to transfer stuff. You're going to actually have to either make these on the fly, 64 ounces at a time, so you'll need an ingredient list. So my ingredient list will be limited to 5 ingredients. So when I talk about the ingredients, some of the ingredients have to be stuff that we're already using, so you don't have that much of a product list. So these things are called SKUs. So from what I'm looking at right now, I see 4 SKUs. And I think this is part 1 of 2. I would rather commit to making the sauces properly. I have all the ingredients back here. I can use the fryer tomorrow to cook off some tenders fresh, how I want to do them, and marinate them, and that's it. You know, so there's levels to anything, and there's levels to this stuff, and I'm going to try to cross that threshold tomorrow. Right, Curly? Come on, come up to Daddy. Come say bye to everybody. Curly doesn't want to say bye. She had a good little nap. Bye for now. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for part 2. Thank you.